In 15th century Spain, in the city of Plascencia, church leaders used their influence in illicit wine dealings. Wine, like many other goods, was taxed when imported to the city, with different rules and regulations based on location, religion, and political affiliation.
Wine played several significant roles across Europe from the 5th to 15th centuries. For gaining profit, several European nations and countries grew wine because it was in high demand across borders. Peasants and commoners, to nobles and kings, also seemed to have some bottles around, or in some cases they found themselves growing grapes to produce and sell their own. The trade and sale of wine would in turn help the farmers and vineyards. If wine remained in demand, they continued to have a job. Wine trade and sale was backed by authorities and regulated, taxed, and monitored to generate revenue, especially in the early medieval Europe. With wine flowing to different places across Europe, it would be the backbone of several countries. Most specifically, wine played vital roles in religious services. Communion and sacrament are among some of those key roles. Wine was used to represent the blood of Christ. At a time when religion was an important part of life across Europe, barrels of wine would be needed on hand to perform the services. Clergymen in Plasencia had special privileges to import untaxed wine only for church and personal use. City representatives believed that the clergymen were abusing their powers in order to sell untaxed wine at a lower cost. This would in turn lead to a divide among the city between all.
Now that we have taken a look at how illegal wine smuggling affected Plasencia, Spain in the 1400s, we will now take a look at other societies illegal wine smuggling has affected, including our own here in the United States during the 1920s. The 1920s is an era defined by the prohibition of manufacturing, sale, and consumption of alcohol. So naturally, everyone drank more. The church aided in this, serving as a loophole based on their religious privileges. Many priests even became bootleggers at the time, and allies of the church became rich in the process. This serves as another example of the church's abuse of powers. Our story in Plasencia, Spain, concludes with the church still retaining many of their special rights. However, any of the new incoming wine had to come through the gate of Talavera. The ship had to also be accompanied by a councilman. The story here in the United States ended a little differently, with Prohibition coming to an end in 1933. However, the common thread between these two examples are that there was a clear abuse of power from the church.